One of my favorite boyfriends I ever had was 5'4", but when he stood on his money, he was 8 feet tall.
Beautiful one.
Men are visual creatures at first. I always say men fall in love through their eyes, women fall in love through their ears. So like
I
that
cannot deny
emotional,
that.
intellectual.
How much a man need to make for him to date you?
I only think in US dollars, so it has to be at least 6 figures a month.
How did the math work for you?
I make more than that.
You keep mentioning a disciplined man and a fit man. That's the two most important things I make sure that I'm consistent in across all of my life. But at the same time, that's one of the major reasons for my breakups in my previous relationships. Welcome to the third episode of your favorite podcast, The Doctor of Relationships. Today, I have a very special guest, Christiana Maxion, Dubai's matchmaker. And not only that, she specialized in matchmaking millionaires and billionaires. Also, she's a tech founder. She's the CEO of Maxion. Welcome, Christiana. I'm so happy to have you today.
Me too. I mean, you and I have already had a little offline conversation where I told you I've already sorted you out.
True, I admit. So Christiana, tell me, what's a matchmaker job? What do you actually do?
So we connect people. We connect people for love. We try to find them success in their love life because everybody has a different definition of what success is for them. So you mentioned like my clients are millionaires and billionaires, and sometimes they come to us in search of a wife, a mother to their children, and sometimes they come to us if they're newly divorced and never ever dated before. So they're only looking to date like qualified, vetted, verified women who are on their level. And a lot of our clients are extremely high profile, so like extremely Googleable. So they use our services because they are time poor and they kind of want to weed out all the riffraff. So we are the connectors, expediting that entire love experience for them.
Explain to me the process. Like how would a customer would get in touch with you, how you take him through the journey of picking up the lady, and then how the actual matchmaking happens.
Yeah. So step one is our clients find us either website, they hear me on the radio, they see me in the newspaper, see me on the cover of magazines, and they apply to be a client on our website. After they apply, our team kind of vets them, goes through like their profile and sees whether or not this would be somebody who would be the type of client that we want to take on. Then after that, we do a discovery call where we get to learn more about them, what they're looking for. Can we find them success? And then if we want to continue in the process, there is a paid video call where we actually present to them current women that are single, that fit what they're looking for from our database. It's a great way for us to vet one another. Maybe we have the women you're looking for, maybe we don't. And then also, how well do we work together? And maybe we don't work well together at all. So it's like that intermediary step before we send you contracts for payment, and then we start the dating process.
Oh, I need to tell me. So when you're talking about the fees,
yes,
how much you charge your clients?
Yes, so our packages start at $30,000, and that's for 4 months-ish of unlimited matchmaking. But some of our clients who are, let's say, super selective, like our price range can go all the way up to $250,000.
Wow. Wow. So explain to me, what's the difference between the $30,000 and $250,000 packages?
Yeah, so it depends, right? So we really decide on what the timeline is that we think we need in order to find you success, because we have over a 95% success rate. So we're pretty good at determining whether or not, or what your search is and how long it'll take for us to achieve that. But also dependent on, are you dating just in Dubai? Are you dating globally? What is your schedule like that's going to allow us to help find you success? And then also we have different tiers of matchmakers that you work with too. So obviously I deal with all the VIP clients, and then we have our assistant matchmakers who are working with other different clients as well.
I have a question. So basically the ladies how do you identify the ladies? So I'm sure you have a database of ladies, right?
Over 40,000 women worldwide.
God. So how did you build that? How did you manage to have profiles of all of those ladies? And I'm sure you vetted those ladies, checked their profiles, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So how did that process happen on the women's side?
Yeah. So this database has been built over I think it's 13 years has been built. So I actually work with Sync Matchmaking, and this is what has allowed us to become global. So I run the Middle East and UK, and then I also have 6 other expert matchmakers on our team that run different parts of the globe. So we have actually consolidated our databases. So these have all been built over decades, right? And that's how we basically have tens of thousands of women. But I, myself, personally grew the GCC and the UK market. So in the past, how many years are we now? 4 years I've been growing that database. And yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Do you charge the ladies?
No, women are free. Free. Join the database. We only work with men as paying clients.
Interesting. Let's say the customer or the client went through the available options. He identified a few of the potential options. Then how does it work from there onwards? How the dating process starts? How do you get in touch with the woman? How do you set up the first date?
Yeah. So what we do, we use a lot of the data that we collect from that initial video call to kind of understand what your type is, right? And then because these women are currently available and single in our database, we'll reach out to them first and be like, hey, are you still single? Hey, we have a great bachelor for you. And because we have so many women in our database, whenever they get like a message from me or my team, they're like, oh, because they never thought that they would actually go on a date. So it's great to have that type of reputation. And they know that our clients go through a similar vetting process in order to be chosen as a client with us. So they trust the process with that. But if we have certain people in the database who we haven't interviewed yet, of course, we interview them. We get to know them, understand their personality, and to see if it's actually going to be a good match for one of our clients. And then after that, we manage the communication between you two. We plan, book, confirm the date. We evaluate the feedback afterwards. And like the real matchmaking magic in it all is offering the unlimited matchmaking for our clients, because then they don't feel the pressure of only going on, I only have to go on 3 dates with this membership. Go on as many as you want, because the more feedback you give us, the more tailored the experience becomes.
Very interesting. Why would millionaires and billionaires would have a problem in dating and they need a matchmaker to help them in that? Because people would assume that if you are a millionaire or even a billionaire, that you can have any woman that you want. It seems that's not the case. Can you explain to me why?
You can have any woman,
Yeah.
but are you going to have the right woman?
Good one. Good one.
So a lot of the women that are in our database are C-level executives. They're lawyers, they're entrepreneurs. They are women who don't want to be seen on dating apps. And they know that the clients that we take on are vetted and verified themselves. So we have a database of extraordinary women, not just here in Dubai, but globally. So I think because of our reputation and what we've built over the years, it's a trusted service that people are excited to join.
When you say a global database or women from all over the globe,
Yeah.
and I'm presuming that most of your clients, the male clients, are from Dubai, right?
The ones that I deal with
Exactly.
are GCC.
GCC.
So not just Dubai,
Okay.
but lots of GCC and lots in London as well.
So from which countries do you identify the ladies? Because also there's the logistical side of things, like how can they
culture.
meet, cultural and logistical. If she's living in different country, like how frequently they can meet, and eventually one of them needs to make the move. Eventually they have to live in the same country. So
If they want to build a family together.
exactly.
It depends, right? Because we have some of our clients that are on a plane over 200 days a year, right? So they're constantly traveling and they are meeting people all over the globe. But we do have lots of clients that want to meet somebody in the city that they live in. So having a strong database and a thoroughly vetted database is super important in order to find success.
So what are the most common criteria that usually your millionaire/billionaire clients would ask for? What are the major criteria for selecting a lady from a millionaire or a billionaire perspective?
So it's interesting, right? Because a lot of people assume that our clients are only looking for a pretty face.
Exactly.
And it's not that at all.
Wow.
So I call it the new age trophy wife. So it's a woman that they also put on a pedestal because of her successes, accomplishments, and achievements, because they have achieved in their life. So they want to be able to walk in a room and say, oh, this is my woman. She's done A, B, C, X, Y, Z.
I'm going to ask you a question that, but
Okay.
I think it's important for the culture of the region. Because if you're dealing with customers and clients from the GCC,
Yeah.
the history of the woman is important to them, I would presume. Like how many men she dated, divorced, not divorced, previous experiences, how much they dwell on that, how important that criterion is for them.
I haven't had one client that has brought that up to us personally when doing the matchmaking process. Of course, there are preferences for divorce or not married or children or not children. And that's something that we ask up front because that can be a deal breaker for some. But in terms of their history, I think that's for them to deal with, not for us. And also, yeah, I mean, if you have a person who is accomplished or is seasoned in life, I think it's better to have experience than not. Why not?
But from the women's side, women that come to you and they want to be put on the database. Also, they seem to be very successful ladies. And usually people would assume that when a woman wants to have a man, it's easier for her to have a man than a man having a woman. That's the general, let's say, impression. So why from the woman's side, particularly if they are successful, they will need a matchmaker to help them in finding the right person?
I think it's about giving yourself options. And I tell people, join every matchmaking database. Put yourself out there, right? Because when you are dating with intention, right, you might as well take action in all areas in order to give yourself more options to find success. So it's just another way for them to put themselves out there.
From the woman's side, what are usually the criteria they would ask for? They come to you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we want X, Y, and Z criteria in the man. What are usually those criteria?
It is so individual, but what I find nowadays is that women are looking for men who are disciplined, who are determined, and have similar alignment to them in terms of like what their futures are going to look like, not only lifestyle, but family, building a family together, living together. And is marriage in their future? Is it not? So having similar alignment is super important.
Interesting. But when it comes to a commitment, and I know many millionaires, less successful men, that would like to have a partner, successful, respectful, but they don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
Do you have so you have those cases, right?
Of course. Yeah. We have a variety of things that our clients are looking for, our members are looking for. And that's where the kind of matchmaking magic comes into play, because it has a lot to do with alignment and timing, right? And what are your goals, each of you separately, in order for you to build something that you both are aligned on. So yeah, we have everything for sure.
But when dating in Dubai, based on your experience in the matchmaking, between beauty, money, and fame, which one is more important? Or what's the order of these three criteria?
For men or for women?
Both. Give me the women's side and the men's side.
It's so individual, right? But when I think about traditional gender roles, and I feel like that happens a lot here, especially in the GCC, is that women are attracted to men who are protectors and providers. And of course, men are visual creatures at first. I always say men fall in love through their eyes. Women fall in love through their ears. So like
I
that
cannot
emotional,
deny that.
intellectual. But yeah, I mean, it differs for everybody. But if you look at it like from that point of view, then obviously beauty is, I always say this, beauty gets you in the doors, but brains gets you to the top floor. So of course, if you are attracting a man, right, let's say you're a beautiful woman, of course, the first thing they're going to see is, wow, this woman is stunning. When you want to keep a man, you want to build a life with him, there needs to be an intellectual and emotional connection.
What's the major turn off, or the most common turn off, let's put it that way, in your experience in dates? So what's usually the most common thing then a man would come and tell you, you know what, it's not going to work because of X? I know it's very individual, but I'm sure there is something that's, let's say, pretty more common.
Yeah, I would say that intellectual stimulation on both ends, right? Either somebody spoke too much, didn't ask enough questions about the other person, and maybe there wasn't like a ping pong of conversation, because, you know, like when you are getting on with somebody, there's a flow, there's that back and forth. And if it's not there, it's not there, and that's fine. But that's why we offer unlimited matchmaking. So if it doesn't work with this person, don't worry, we have so many more left.
طب, Did in any of the cases a man and a woman met through your service,
Of course.
things didn't work,
Oh,
but they ended up being friends?
yeah. Oh my gosh, that happens a lot. I think that through dating that happens too, because just because you don't have maybe a romantic connection with somebody, you can continue with the friendship. Most definitely. And maybe you have some business to be had. Maybe other things. Maybe you're connected through mutual friends and you continue that way too.
I have a question and you answer me honestly. Based on your experience.
Yeah.
Do you really believe men and women can be friends?
1000%. I have so many male friends and I've grown up with so many male friends. Yes.
What are the conditions under which this friendship would not work? Because I have my own theory around this, but I want to hear you first.
That it wouldn't work or that it would work?
There is a very high chance it will not work unless...
Ooh, I highly doubt that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to challenge you on that.
Go ahead.
Because I have so many platonic male friends here in Dubai as well. And I think that theory that men and women can't be friends, that means that the man objectifies women and only sees them as sexual objects. And that's why he cannot form a friendship with them. Where if you are open intellectually, emotionally, of course you can have a friendship with anybody. We're all humans.
You just said that a man is a human being, right? And he's a visual human being, correct? So in my view, if the woman is very attractive, the chances of having the friendship working are very low. Unless he has zero interest in her appearance, then yeah, maybe it works in that case.
I think that attractive men and attractive women can be friends for sure. It's about having an emotional connection with somebody, and maybe you're on the same wavelength too in terms of building businesses, and you help each other, you give advice to one another. It's always great for men and women to have friendships because then you also gain perspective on life and you don't just have one side thinking. You can ask questions, you can reflect, and it helps you become more of a whole human.
I'll continue with it in this game.
Okay.
So I'm gonna assume that a man and woman are friends.
Yeah.
What's the boundary of this friendship? One, at which level or boundary you would say, you know what, this is getting off the line?
So I think that setting boundaries in friendships, male or female friendships, or that's just something that should be natural. And if it's a platonic relationship that you want to have with somebody, I think that boundaries are unspoken. You know, you either give off the vibe that something is going to move forward or it's not. And that's up to you and your standards and how you deal with life. I'm not here to tell you what to do.
Tough. I'm going to ask you something a bit more personal.
Go.
You as a matchmaker.
Yeah.
What are the criteria that you look for when you want to date a man?
So I touched upon this earlier. For me, the most attractive qualities in a partner is somebody who's disciplined. And you can tell somebody's level of discipline by the way that they look, how fit they are, what kind of achievements and successes that they've had in business. I am so attracted to somebody who's determined, ambitious, and also being determined is also somebody who has a plan and says what they're going to do or do exactly what they say. So I would say discipline, determination, and ambition.
How about the financials? How much a man need to make for him to date you?
To date me?
Yes.
I only think in US dollars, so it has to be at least 6 figures a month.
6 figure a month. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Why is 6 figures in particular? How did the math work for you?
Because I make more than that, so I need that.
Fair enough.
At least.
Good point. I'm sure this part is going to go absolutely viral on the internet.
It should do.
I'll invite you as a collaborator. I'm sure that's going to rock the social media.
Well, the thing is, right, when we were speaking before, I think that as humans, naturally, in a male-female relationship, the male is the protector and the provider. So if I'm a female who makes a certain level of money, I would expect my partner to make that and more in order for me to feel protected and provided for.
Fair enough. Dubai is a matchmaker. Are you single or are you in a relationship?
Oh, I just split with a guy 2 weeks ago. So right now I am single. So boys, if you make that criteria,
the lady is available.
Don't DM me though, because I am not about the DMs. You know what I will say? The best dating app besides Maxion is LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I love LinkedIn. I get hit up on LinkedIn all the time. And I do say yes to dates on LinkedIn. So that's an opening door.
Wow. That's a new tip, guys. If you're interested,
I
check
have
her
to see your
LinkedIn.
professional timeline first. 1000%. Very important to me.
Indeed. I have a general question on the dating in Dubai, not through your service in general.
Yeah.
Do you feel that women are becoming more and more unreasonably demanding or becoming very materialistic in their demands when it comes to dating? Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you from my entourage, from single ladies around me, I want them to be successful, financially capable, good looking. No. Okay, fine, excellent. So, but my dear, what are you bringing to the table? Like you want
1000%. Keep going. I can't wait to talk about this.
She wants a man that's 9/10 or 10/10, and actually, with all my due respect, she could be 5 or a 6/10.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what's the problem in my humble view. The problem is social media is the problem. And men in general are way more flirtatious in social media than women. So she can be a 5 or a 6, but she will receive a lot of DMs, comments from men that only want to sleep with her, not to have a proper relationship with her, which is a completely different story altogether. And then she starts building in her head a value that's not matching the reality. I'm this, I'm this. Imagine how many DMs I'm receiving per day, but the intention of those DMs is not to have a long-term relationship. So from your point of view, what do you believe is the situation nowadays and when it comes to women dating in Dubai?
Delusion. I think men and women are delusional when it comes to dating in terms of these crazy expectations that they see on Instagram, when instead of having their own internal reflection. And what I tell people before they date, because some people are dating and they're not ready to date yet. So I believe you should not be dating unless you are a completely whole person who finds yourself extremely worthy of dating. Because remember, you're going to be connecting with another human that is looking for another whole person. So in terms of that internal reflection, what I tell people to do is to write down your top qualities, your successes, your achievements. What do you bring to the table? Because if you're somebody who is searching for a man or a woman who is successful, who is ambitious, who is fit to a certain level, you yourself need to be those qualities in order to attract that partner. And if you are not that, how in the hell do you expect to attract that in a partner? It's crazy to me. It's delusional, for sure.
I fully agree with you. There is something that you keep repeating, and honestly, it's getting my attention. You keep mentioning a disciplined man and a fit man, a disciplined and a fit man. To me, as a man, that's the two most important things I make sure that I'm consistent in across all of my life. But at the same time, that's one of the major reasons for my breakups and my previous relationships. I'll explain to you. I meet a lady. At the beginning, she likes the fact that I'm fit, I'm shredded. We go to the big...
I'm shredded.
3%.
If that's not an advert for yourself, I don't know what is.
3% body fat, body
Oh,
expand.
God. Okay, keep going. He's shredded, ladies.
They know my
shoot.
my fitness photos are all over social media. So at the beginning, they like it. They like the attention when we go to the beach together. Then, few months down the road, they start hating it. Because
the time and dedication you put into it.
Exactly. Because
yes, I see.
5:30 in the morning, I'm going to wake up. 6, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm very annoying with my diet. I do intermittent fasting every day. I don't cheat during weekdays. I cheat only one night in a weekend. That's it.
Yeah.
Alcohol, I don't drink alcohol across the whole weekdays because my brain needs to be as sharp as a knife.
Yep.
I do it occasionally over weekends because to me it's important to stay mind sharp. And you know, obviously, alcohol is not the best thing to have from a performance perspective.
I've been sober 210 days, so I know.
That's cool. But in Dubai, people see that as a negative thing because the social life is almost fully designed around alcohol consumption. So the women, they want the outcome, but they don't want the pain that comes with going through the process or the sacrifices. Because again, like, let's say we go out on a date over weekdays. You can order what you want, eat what you want, drink what you want, but I'll do the same. And maybe I will not, if we're going out for a dinner after 9 p.m., I will not eat because my eating window stops at 9.
You sound like me. I'm strict with myself. And it's not like I put that expectation on my partner. Oh my gosh, they can do whatever they want with their diet, with their fitness. I'm more attracted to somebody who is disciplined and who is fit. But I think that those people who then put you on a pedestal for that, but then they start kind of resenting you for that, that's not the right partner for you.
Yeah.
You need somebody who has a similar mindset and maybe who has similar habits to you. Because when you think about building a life with somebody versus living a lifestyle, maybe this person liked the lifestyle you had, but then wasn't willing to build a life with you. So you need to find a partner who has similar habits to you, because then you can actually have a foundation of compatibility where you can build a life with them.
I feel you started mapping me already.
I already know who I'm going to match you with.
Oh my God.
You just got to pay the fee first.
I'm not paying $30,000 for sure. What do you think is nowadays the impact of social media on dating in general? Is it positive or negative, and why?
It's hard, right? Because what's great about social media is the access to information, right? Access to information, access to knowledge. It's amazing. And that's what's great about social media. But it's also now access to delusion, what we were speaking about before. Fake lives, photoshops, all of this, right? And it is creating this like idea of perfectionism that doesn't actually live in the real world. And instead I say, like, these people live in your phone. They are disposable. They live inside of your phone. They're not actually real people in real life. Like I mean, take me, for example. I'm quite controversial on social media. And then people see me and they're just like, oh, you're actually like much nicer in person. And I'm like, of course, like that's what gets the people talking, right? Is the controversy of things. But beyond that, in terms of social media being good or bad for relationships, I personally love a man who has zero social media.
Oh.
My last boyfriend had no Instagram, nothing. He'd had like LinkedIn, like that's it, right? And what I loved about that is that it's a man who doesn't seek validation in others, in the views and the likes. None of that. He is so simple in his own world. All he did was gym, golf, career. That was it. I love that about him. Now, what's interesting is that you have a lot of people now where they are obsessed with the views, with the likes, and that's where they're seeking their validation. Now, you're speaking about women who are getting DMs who, in your eyes, are 5 out of 10s, right? And then it's giving them that false kind of like pride in themselves and maybe giving them this false image of what relationships should look like versus what relationships are. Because I think about 2024 now. People are looking for 100% everything that they want to live inside one being. That is crazy. You will never find 100% in somebody. Humans are humans. I say find 80% and then build that 20 together. That's what a real relationship looks like. And because we're on social media and we have this kind of delusion that there is a pool of so many compatible people out there, which isn't correct. What people are doing, they're not putting in the grit. They're not being resilient in relationships. They are fleeing at the first sign of anything going wrong.
True.
And saying like, oh, I'm going to find it in somewhere else. I'm going to DM this person. I'm going to do that, slide into their DMs and find it here. When in actuality, these people that live inside your phone, they literally live inside your phone. They're not real people in real life.
True.
So it's given up on kind of like that grit and resilience in relationships that I see should be happening or have happened in the past.
Do you see that the entourage of the woman, I mean her friends, her female and male friends, in many cases they have a negative impact on sustainability of her relationships? I'll tell you.
It depends how delusional they are too.
It's not only this. I'll tell you based on my modest experience in this area. So what happens usually if a woman is with a high quality man, and let's say she starts introducing that man to her entourage, you could see it in her friends' eyes. They are so jealous. And then what they wait for is for the first argument to kick in, and they start fuming her like to ruin it. Because for them, the moment she's dating a guy of this caliber, and as you just said, matchmaking in Dubai is becoming more challenging, particularly for quality men, because men now they are becoming more sophisticated in their requirements, and I believe the same applies on successful women. So the chances of having someone that mixes and matches you with you is lower, and that's why your service is in demand. So then they start, you are better than this, you can get who thinks he is, you can get a guy that's of similar caliber easily, you are this, you are that. And it also, the same could happen from the male side. Maybe they have their own agendas. I know that you believe in friendship, but you cannot deny the fact that many male friends, they are just hanging around waiting for the right opportunity.
That happens for sure.
So the males could also fall into that category. So that entourage is the absolute perfect toxic environment to ruin the relationship.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
I judge a man and a woman, anybody, heavily on the people that they surround themselves with, because as humans we consume a lot, and consuming isn't just what we eat, right? It's the media that we see inside our phone, the news that we read, the books that we read, and the people that we have in our environment. So when we were speaking about earlier about being determined and decisive, disciplined and decisive, I apply that to your friend group. Who do you choose to surround yourself with? Because if you're choosing good people to surround yourself with, they should, of course, uplift you, but also be good judges of character. So if these are people that are being conniving and sneaky, I actually blame you for having friends like that. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. You don't have a good judge of character.
I like that. What do you think of a person that has a limited amount of friends or almost no friends? Let's put it that way.
So that's interesting, because I do like somebody who is very decisive, and it depends, because for me, I like somebody who is selective. But I also know, and this happened in a past relationship, is that because of what I do and the spotlight that is on me, I prefer somebody who is social, number one, but it's okay if they only choose to be friends with a few different people. They don't need to be friends with everybody. That's okay with me. I actually find that as a positive. That tells me that they're selective.
Yeah, but in my view, and you correct me if you find this different, having friends is extremely different than being social.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Like for me, I'm a very social guy. I go out a lot and I socialize with people. But my friends are extremely, extremely, extremely limited. More limited than you think.
I like that, though, because then you're selective. And we were speaking about earlier about your environment. And then you choose these people because in some way, shape, or form, they're a positive impact on you. Like I said, I'm going to judge you on your friends.
Yeah. I strongly believe that you are the average of the 5 people around you.
Most definitely. And this is why it's okay when people kind of like shed friend groups and then level up. I like that. I like a person who levels up, level up, level up, level up. Do that. 1000%.
By the way, that's a very daring statement, and people would take it. Know that the moment they became successful, they're becoming now more, having more higher standards. They're ditching their old environment.
That's okay, because I only want people that add value to my life. Oh, I constantly shed people out of my life. If I have an experience with you and like one of my friends, she's like, you eat batteries for breakfast. And I do. I'm extremely energized. I'm this, I'm that. I feel like I'm a beacon of light for people, right? Because I've achieved a lot and I have so much more to achieve. And if you're a person that is taking from that light, I cut you off so quickly. I just can't have that in my life because I see myself just with this exponential growth. And if you're someone who's holding me back, I'm out. I don't do it harshly. I just stop speaking to them.
No, 100%. So I think it seems to me like you believe in energy in relationships.
Oh my gosh, of course. And that's something you cannot determine from 2 flat profiles, like with matchmaking, right? Which is why we do have unlimited options for you, because we want you to meet people, because it's all about the connection you have in person. And we can't determine that from 2 flat profiles, right? Or even from Instagram when you're looking at somebody's profile.
100%.
It has to be the energy when you two connect in real life.
Do you believe in gender role in relationships? Particularly from your experience in matchmaking, when both men and women are successful, both of them, let's say C-level, do you think the rule of gender play will apply? And when I say the rule of gender play, it doesn't come from the necessity. It's not like because the man needs the woman to cook, he wants her to cook. It's out of him feeling that he's practicing his manhood and her practicing her feminine side. I don't know how things are working at that caliber in your matchmaking experience.
It's interesting because I also think that this is determined by your childhood. Were you a person growing up where your mother was in the kitchen, she was taking care of the family, or was it a 2-income household, right? And that kind of determines too what the kind of relationship that you're used to seeing. I think it also has a lot to do with, we also live in Dubai, right? Where everybody has drivers, nannies, chefs. So I said this the other day on my Instagram and people went wild. I said, the level of masculinity in a man is determined by the state of his woman. If she looks run down and tired, he's a beta brokey.
I agree.
Digest that.
No, I agree with you. But at the same time, I believe a woman needs for the man to provide for her and take care of her. She needs one to respect the effort that he has to put and the sacrifices he has to put her in that position. Second, she has to be appreciative for that. She should not take it for I've seen this before, because she might start appreciating that at the beginning, then she takes it for granted because it's available. Then she's, it's normal. No, it's not normal. Just don't forget how things started and where you are right now.
Which is why I think that successful men and successful women are a good match for one another, because they both understand the work that goes into achieving and successes. So then it's easier to have that appreciation for the other person when maybe there could be a mismatch and then the other person gets taken for granted because they're just, this is the expectation, rather than understanding what actually needed to be put in place in order for that to happen.
I have a curious question. Why you broke up with your last boyfriend?
We'll talk about that offline. He's lovely. He is absolutely lovely. Just mismatch. That's it.
Mismatch. Can you just give me a tip around, let's say, the categoric reason? Look, I'm not saying I broke up also with my last girlfriend. I cannot say but good things about her. She's an amazing person. But we had a certain, let's say, not discomfort, but lack of alignment on a certain lifetime decision. So we split up. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I think that we just came from two different worlds. Like, I'm in the spotlight and he's very much not. So I just think that a long-term future wouldn't have made sense for us to be together. And that's it.
So you prefer someone that's more in the spotlight?
No, maybe somebody who understands what it takes. So we were talking about, right, appreciation or celebrating somebody, and who understands all the work that goes into being on the cover of these magazines and being asked, even in that position, to be asked to be that is something that's incredible, especially in the amount of time that it took me to get there. And just we just came from different worlds, and that's it. Just a mismatch.
Given your experience now in the dating world, it's your job practically.
It is my job.
What kind of advice you would give to your younger self when it comes to dating?
I feel like I follow this advice. I say yes to a lot, or I used to say yes to a lot of people when it came to dating, because that helps you understand more about what you're truly attracted to. I think that the way I date now and how I have dated in the past few years is always from the standpoint of, do I like this person versus does that person like me? And knowing all of the things that I bring to the table, putting my own self on a pedestal, because then it's easier for me to see both the green and the red flags. So I think I'm an excellent dater.
I'm going to ask you 5 questions.
Oh, gosh.
About social media behaviors. Okay?
Yeah.
You tell me if that's considered as cheating or not.
Okay, I'm going to tell you I care zero about social media, but go.
Yeah, I'm going to discuss the behavior, not the social media.
Let's go.
Liking another girl's post.
Does not matter to me at all.
Replying or engaging with flirty messages / comments.
Is this cheating, you said?
Yeah.
It's disrespectful, so yes, along the same lines.
Following a woman that the man doesn't know in real life.
See, I'm way too busy in my life that I look at people's follower accounts. So for me,
assuming
I don't care.
assuming that you knew about it.
I would be like, it doesn't bother me personally, but I'm also a practical human being. Like, what are you actually looking at this person for? Who cares? Whatever. I know you in real life, and that's all that matters to me. Like,
Going out on a dating app to see what's up there.
And he's in a relationship.
Yeah.
Oh my God, of course that's cheating. That's fucking nuts. That is nuts to even have that app inside your phone. You're a crazy person. And guess what? My man would never even think about disrespecting me because I'm from New York.
Okay, cool.
All I gotta say.
Cool, got the picture. Complimenting a woman online. You're looking
By
good.
what?
Looking good. You're looking beautiful. Nice eyes, nice body,
No, because
stuff
it's
like that.
disrespectful. And I know that the partner that I'm gonna have is gonna be extremely respectful and loyal.
Interesting.
Why? You think all this is okay?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm asking for your. I'm interviewing you. It's not the other way around. Because I'll receive different answers in different episodes. That's the type of questions, or this set of questions I ask in every single episode.
Okay.
And women answer differently, by the way.
Yeah, good. Could have different opinions, but I'm the right opinion.
What's the major challenge of your job? Do you think it's one of the reasons why you're single today?
No, I think that challenge that our clients might come to us with is that it's hard for them to date because they are so high profile. So this is something that our service helps them because they are very Googleable. So we kind of help them actually align with the women who have the same alignment with them.
Talking about your personal life.
Oh, my personal life. What about it? What about it?
Does the nature of your job impact your personal life, particularly dating?
No, I actually think that any man who asks me out, and gosh, I do not lack in that space whatsoever.
Clear. But she is still single. You have the opportunity.
I just broke up. Relax. But any man who has the confidence to ask somebody out, who this is their job, is definitely somebody who's on my level. 1000%. So I don't find it. I actually find it as a great kind of like weeding out, or like a funnel, a great funnel, because anybody who is maybe intimidated by that, do not ask me out, because we just wouldn't get on at all.
Fair enough. Did it ever happen to you that someone applied through your dating service and actually you got attracted to that guy?
No, they always ask me if I'm single.
There is a moment of silence. That means it happened.
They always ask me if I'm single or if like I'm on the presentation or all of this. But in all honesty, no, not. I'm very professional.
Not even a single date here or there?
Nope. Extremely professional. Maybe in the future, who knows?
Is your service restricted only to, let's say, straight men or women, or you help also the gay society in matchmaking? We're
open.
Yeah.
We help everybody. We believe love is love.
That's interesting. Actually, that's civilized, actually, let's put it that way, because they deserve the same opportunity. So I was checking.
Of course. And especially like not just here, but globally. We help everybody find love. And that's the best part about what we do.
Interesting. What would you advise people that are dating in Dubai? What would you give them as a piece of advice to find their lifetime partner?
I need you to throw away your list. Your list of things that you're looking for. He has to be 6 foot plus, from here, from there. You need to delete that list. And what you should be writing down is a narrative of how you want to feel, how you want to be treated in a relationship. And you only get to put down 2 physical things. That's it. 2 physical traits.
What are the most common physical, let's say, criteria that men ask for? And what are the 2 most common criteria, physical one, that women ask for in a man?
So men ask for women that are fit, because I think that also then spills into your other areas of life, right? Fit. Physical attraction is so different for each person, but feminine. I always say it's the 3 F's. fun, fit, and feminine. That's what men ask for. What women, and this is what I hate about reading women's profiles sometimes, is that they're like, he has to be 6 foot plus, he has to have this amount of money. All of those women, I filter them into the delusional pile. And then when we do have clients that fit that profile, then I put them back in. But anyway, I think that when you have tall as your deal breaker, that is so dumb to me, because tall doesn't pay the bills. Tall doesn't take care of you when you're sick. Tall isn't caring, thoughtful, resilient. That has nothing to do with the actual character of a man, husband, and father.
That's a fair point, but don't you think that this is coming from, let's say, an ancient background when women used to look protection through the man, and they would expect him, let's say, to be strong. And there's a misconception actually in the society that women or people in general, they assume that bigger men are stronger.
Yeah.
Me being an MMA fighter, I know it's not the case. Like,
it's not the
seen
case
many
at all.
big guys in the gym that
Yeah.
we wipe the floor with them in just 30
Exactly.
seconds.
I'll say this. One of my favorite boyfriends I ever had was 5'4". But when he stood on his money, he was 8 feet tall.
Beautiful one. Beautiful one.
No.
This is gonna go live on social media for sure.
No.
That's a reel.
He was 8 feet tall in the sense of how he treated me, how he made me feel, always putting me on a pedestal, making me feel number one, extremely supportive, emotionally, intellectually, everything like that we had made him feel to me like the top man that I should be with.
When you meet a guy for the first time, a client, I mean, not a boyfriend. So I'm sure you have a certain list in your head, criteria that you use to analyze him and start building his profile in your head. So what's that list?
So it's interesting because I need to see this person either in person or video to understand their energy and their dynamic, to then basically understand what kind of a woman would be a good fit for them. With matchmaking, you either have a knack for connecting or you don't. Having an extremely great database and systems is great, but you need to know what types of humans need to be together in order to foster a real committed relationship. In terms of what we look for in our clients, it's definitely people who are honest, who know what they want, because that's super important for us in order to deliver you success, and are just good, genuine human beings. Because the women that join our database expect us to put them on dates with really good guys. And that's the reputation that we have and that we plan to uphold. So we don't take on anybody who we think is sleazy, skeezy, or scammy at all. That is, if we get that vibe straight from the beginning, we're out. We just say, our quota is full this quarter.
That's your excuse usually.
That is our excuse, because we are selective in who we choose to work with.
Cool. What's the impact of age on the chances of a person finding his lifetime partner? Whether that's
Zero impact.
even men and women, both of them, it has no impact. You don't find men coming and telling you, you know what, I want a lady in her 20s. I don't want someone above, let's say, 40.
Well, it's interesting because biologically, the men who do come to us and they want to build a family, of course, there's like an age range in there. But then we are living in a society where we do have modern science. There are so many different ways to have children, adopt children, things like that. So we do have some clients that are looking for a certain age range. My most recent success story, which I love, man, 68 years old, went on the first date and they're now in a relationship. First person I set him up with.
How old was she?
And I love that. She was in her 50s.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's not a big difference.
No, and exactly, he said to us, and completely normal. He was like, I want a woman who's mature and who has lived life just like me. And I think that we get a lot of our clients who are like that are actually have their heads on straight. And like, I remember a guy came to us once, 42 years old, and he said, I only want to date women who are 19. I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, get out of here. I was like, oh my God, that's not normal. I didn't say that to him, but I was like,
that's
do
almost
not
illegal.
invite him. I was like, do not invite him for step 2. I wrote that in his notes. I was like, that's not the type of service that we provide. You want that? You need to go somewhere else.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your youngest male client that you've ever had?
26.
26? Oh my God.
26. we have such a wide range of clients that come to us, and it's really the clients that come to us, they have one string like that ties them all together. They're all time poor. They have zero time to be sat on a dating app. They have zero time in their social life and their professional life to waste in going on so many different dates with all these women that aren't vetted, verified, qualified, that we actually take all of that effort out and we expedite that process. So they all come to us for that reason.
Interesting. I would like to know why a 26-year-old guy would require such a service. I know the time constraint part, but 26, think about it. He just came out of college. He must have had like an insane social experiences, right? Particularly, he must be like a millionaire/billionaire. He's 26, like he's almost 2-3 years out of college. Why would he need such a service?
So this particular client, he started working when he was 14. And what had happened was he had his head down building for all those years, and then kind of like picked his head up and was like, I don't really have a large network of people. Very selective in his friend group. So we offer that selection and network to help widen the search to find him his partner. So that's really why he came to us in this particular case.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm sure all of the audience, they have it in their mind. Because many people will assume that only desperate men or women, not good-looking men or women, would go for such a service.
You would be so shocked at our client list. The amount of high-profile politicians we have, professional athletes that we have, famous actors, the list that we have of people, millionaires and billionaires, you'd be shocked to know that they have hired the service, because there's this misconception that matchmaking is like this last resort, when in actuality, it's the only option for our clients because of all of the concierge that we provide with it.
Okay. Out of curiosity, and I'm sure the audience will love this question, your most famous client so far, what was his number of followers on social media? Your most famous. This is how people are going to get a sense of how famous he was or she was. I don't know.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't look at that. But I mean, this is a person who's in the Hall of Fame. So for the sport that they were in. So.
Oof, so I'm sure in millions.
Yeah, millions probably. I never look at their social media, to be honest.
No,
I just take them at face value. But
I'm asking this question because, again, people will be assuming that.
Oh, yeah. I would assume tens of millions if this person. I'll look at
a person with above a million follower who will never go for such a service.
No, my gosh.
Here you go. He's a Hall of Famer, pro athlete with more than 10 million followers, and still
I'll check after this actually to see how many.
Text me after the episode.
I will.
I think by this we reached the end of our episode. Okay. Honestly, I loved it. It was very daring and very interesting. And I'm 100% sure it's going absolutely viral.
Okay, let's do it.
Thank you for coming, and it was a pleasure having you.
Yes, thank you.
See you in the 4th episode. I hope that you enjoyed. Till next time.